Hello guys, it's February 2, 2022. Puro dos today. Dos, 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 dos. So today it's the Philippine market update. Thank you for watching Awesome 10X Philippine markets. Let's go through the Philippine market now. So the Philippine markets is very, very strong. As you can see, we're seeing Philippine stock index 97 points up, 1% up, trading at 7,458. Market value is 7.5 billion pesos with 123 advancers and 81 decliners. Now, I'm not sure if this has to do with the jump for, kasi mas sanay ako na, yes, earnings in US was very good. Google had very good numbers. Also, we saw that as of last Friday, Jan 29, a lot of short covering happened in the US. Wall Street movement has been triggering massive moves for just about 2 to 3 days. And I'm not sure if that actually overflowed also to the Philippine market. So that might be one of the explanation why index is very strong. Not sure if that has a correlation, pero mas gamay ko yung nangyayari sa USA. Either way, let's take a look at the index movers. Quite strong movements on the Philippine market. Take a look at this. SM Prime is trading at 36 pesos. SM is trading at 965. It even reached 980. Some of us actually use this strong strength in the market to actually sell. So SM is trading at 965. Take note that if your index is 75, nag-hit pa yung SM as high as 980 pesos. BDO is 140. This is a huge index bet. So you can see that the banks in the Philippines are really triggering up moves in the market. BDO is 140, BPI is 100 bucks, good earnings from BPI. Metro Bank is nearing 60 pesos. Nakita ko. Metro Bank is 59 peso 55 cents. So your top three banks, MBT, BDO, BPI are all like climbing up, which is actually triggering this huge move in the market. Ayala Corp is 880, PLDT is, yung mga PLDT, Globe, Meralco, they've also been very strong, resilient. So ito dividends, we also always felt strong naman yan. Flat or strong. So ngayon, flat siya, but it's okay, no? Telephone, 1860, Globe is 3170, your Meralco is 335, actually, malakas si Meralco, 335. Nag-329 ngayon, may konting take profits, but still, that is considered strong. You'll notice as well, Aboitices have been very strong. Aboitiz Power 34, Aboitiz Equity Ventures 62 bucks. Actually, yung UBP mo, Union Bank, not in the index, pero malakas pa rin, 103 bucks. So in general, the index in the Philippines has been very strong. Index movers have been strong all throughout. And magtataka ka rin that the market is actually very bullish on reopening. So you're seeing GT Cap now trading 600 pesos. Nearing, hindi pa 600, pero 583.5. I think a couple of reasons why GT Cap is really undervalued, and GT Cap is really one of parang main play naman din on Metro Bank. If you're seeing Metro Bank hit 60 pesos, nearing 60 pesos, some people are gonna like buy the largest entity that owns Metro Bank, which is GT Capital. So GT Cap is trading up at 583. Actually, AGI is 1286. What really surprised me, guys, was all-time highs dire-diretso si Emperador. So Emperador has been moving very, very strongly, 24, 25. And napupull up yan because of Emperador's good numbers. Actually, last year, no, malakas yung numbers. Gulat lang ako na dire-diretso pa. But, actually nag-straight move pa siya this January. So I think that is the one that triggers the movement on AGI to get revalued. Kasi ang lakas ng Emperador movements. So, kaya uptrend pa si AGI. Let's take a look at other names that are rising in the market. So, in general, your index has been relatively strong, which is probably the reason why the Philippine consumer staples are very di sila resilient. Kasi consumer staples, you only buy them when you're really scared of the market, medyo risk off yung sentiment. Since the market in the Philippines is actually risk on, to be honest. So, may mga selling pressure sa pure gold. Either way, I'd say that, kasi I'm not that risk on as of the moment. To be honest, medyo Philippines ko, I'll be honest, halos 100% cash, or if I have hindi naman 100% cash, yung mga natitira ko dyan, puro dividend names or consumer staple names. So yes, consumer staples meaning pure gold, meaning Mondenisen, URC, yun yung mga consumer staple. Dividends are PLDT, Globe, di ba? DMC is a dividend play, mga ganon. Nicolasia is a dividend play. Halos ganon lang yung mga positions ko, which is not really risk on if you think about it. Medyo parang dividend play lang. Either way, let's read through the numbers and the earnings. Let's see this. Nabasa ko yung ASEN na report. Basahin lang natin. Nasaan na yun? Ba't hindi ko ma-load? Fast tayo. Okay. Sige, bali nandito naman. ASEN, click natin, no? So may press release si ASEN. ASEAN has been acquiring 49% in Vietnam solar platform of Super Energy. Let's go through the headlines here. Super owns and operates 837 megawatts of solar projects in Vietnam. The investment will expand ASEAN's international portfolio, now 1,900 watts, which 1,000 watts or more are in Vietnam. So this is the beginning of partnership of ASEAN and Super to expand the renewable footprint in Vietnam, as well as exploring other Southeast Asian markets. So if you'll notice, ASEAN is more Vietnam pala rather than rather than any other country. So AC Energy through subsidiary AC Energy Vietnam Investments and Super has engaged to form a strategic partnership to own and operate renewable projects across ASEAN. So post restructuring, Solar NT will own and operate 9 solar plants across Vietnam, total capacity of 837 megawatts. Super is a premier Thai renewable energy developer and investor. This transaction is secondary shares acquisition for a total consideration of $165 million. Let's go through this. This transaction will reinforce ASEAN's position as a pioneer player in ASEAN renewable market. So very big yung ginagawa talaga ng AC Energy in Southeast Asia. The goal is become the largest listed renewable platforms in Southeast Asia. And then Loshaya, the chairman and CEO of Super, adds, for this transaction, Super has an objective to form a strategic partnership in order to join forces in joint investment. So ang galing, if you're really a solar player, matutuwa ka sa ginagawa ng ASEAN. Let's take a look at what ASEAN did in light of that news report. ASEAN is still down 9.5. Possible kasi ASEAN really had climbed very strongly. Since October 31, ASEAN has been dropping from 13. This is a pullback. I'd say that some people, syempre, are wary how high and how much dilution sometimes in terms of share prices in order to form these joint partnerships. $165 million is a lot. Will AC Energy put in some cash? Kasi I'm not quite sure if AC Energy has $165 million up for disposal. Will it be convertible debts? So I think those could be the reasons why ASEAN didn't go up, no? Either way, those assets are good for the long term. So mangyari dyan, in my view, if ASEAN falls, say, 7 or 6 or 4, may buyer yan. I don't know how growth stocks in the Philippines would fall, no? In US, they can fall like 80% down from its peak. Kasi malakas din yung galaw. Sipa mo, 1 to 13. Can you fall $4, $5? But I think 4 to 7, malakas yung pressure dyan to buy. But here at 9, 10, 12, 13, nakikita mo naman clearly in the market, hindi pa sila confident enough to buy ASEAN despite those good news. So you can just watch how things unfold. Maybe 3 months from now, tingnan mo kung mag-pull back yan, the way na nandito yan. Kukonso siguro si ASEAN. Let's take a look at other names na nag-report, no? So BPI actually very good numbers. I saw the earnings. Tingnan din natin yung most viewed disclosures. DMC, basahin natin to. DMC press release. Hindi, pero ito gender equality. Wala yun. Di masyado as important of a news. So I guess let's just go through the news on BPI earnings. Let's just read through it. Okay? So click BPI. So may mga financial reports na tayo. May mga earnings releases. The press release, basahin lang natin. Earnings announcement was happening noong Jan 31 for BPI. So let's just go through it. So the income was up 50% for BPI for 4Q 2021. Income was 6.4 billion, came about 51% higher, 13% quarter-on-quarter higher, led through higher transaction volumes, fueling the growth in revenues. So net income was 23.88 billion, also higher by 11% year-on-year, driven by lower provisions and record high fee income. Total revenues declined by 4% to 97 billion. Net interest income stood at 69.58 billion. Net interest margin contracted by 19 basis points, driven by lower yields across most loan portfolios and treasury assets. So, but this was tempered by 23. Net non-interest income declined by 5% to 27 billion due to lower trading income. But there was a rebound performance in most business levels. The bank booked also provision, like their net profit, non-performing loan coverage ratio right now is 136%. So far, their NPL ratio is 2.49%. Total loans still ended at 1.48 trillion pesos for higher mortgage, credit cards, microfinance loans. Total assets right now for BPI is 2.4 trillion pesos. And take note that BPI and BPI Family Savings Bank just got merged as of January 2022. Okay, so let's just take a look at these things, no? Because PTI is making money, 6 billion. A lot of people are wanting cash flows and dividends. Really, that's a theme all throughout the world. So I think that's the reason why there's a huge run up on BPI. And actually, that could be the reason why BDO is huge run up then. Either way, even if these BDOs and BPIs are rising, I would still suggest probably time to also take profits. Doesn't matter if you don't have it, you might have to stay in cash. Kasi although very good numbers, I don't know how high, mag-all-time high ba si BDO? Either way, medyo I'm skeptical. You just trail your longs if you're long on BDO. In this case, if you're long BDO pa rin, I would trim actually kahit 134 na done, no, yung some selling pressure. Very strong movement on BDO from about 126 to 139, 10% up in 3 days. I'd argue that some people will book some profits despite the fact na malakas. So BPI din, mga yan, lahat actually ng banks malakas, no? That was the one that triggered this movement of the market. BPI, tamo, 99 to 100, from 94 to 101. Could go as high as 105 pa to. In fact, the all-time high of BPI was 125. So just look at the last 5 years. Ito yung highs, 125 for BPI. I'd say that as we close and near that all-time high movement of BPI and BDO, might be really a good chance to exit to cash. So yan, malakas yung movements, sumasabay lang si Metrobank sa dalawang yon. So Metrobank, rally to about 65 or 67. You've got the resistances there, 67. Some people are also playing catch up since they're seeing Metrobank go up, the banks go up. Naglaro ng GT Capital. Take note, GT Cap has still been below 590, very low compared to what Metrobank is. So may ano yan, may arbitrage opportunity yan. Take note what happened here, 560 all the way to 590. Could go to about 600. Actually, that's one reason why no mga 530 areas to, we were buying here. Actually, 526, 535. One of those few names na I was saying, siguro GT Cap is a good entry here kasi 530 na lang. And actually, Cebu Pacific was 41, 40 lang dun during this time, no? Malakas yung sipa ni Cebu Pac, so this was a reopening play. Nonetheless, at 45 to 47 hanggang 50 pesos, guys, I think it's valid to be taking profits. So 75 index, I'll still be in either if you have position, good for you, take profit. If you don't have a position, you're staying long in cash, os lang. Or if you're not in cash, do go to our dividend picks. So dun lang kayo sa mga dividend picks. That way, whatever happens, DMC, di ba? Dividends. Nickel, dividends. So puro dividend play, I know. Tel, Glow, Mer, puro dividend. And then some staples. I go for staples pa rin. Monde, tulog dyan. Okay lang. URC, tulog dyan. I'm not looking for fast money talaga. Obviously, in the Philippines, you could see in the stats, no? A lot of top traded names are IPOs. I think most actively traded names have been the IPOs like SPNEC, nag 100% up. I don't know, like even the Figaro, which I don't like masyado, also went up a lot. Diba? So I think in the Philippines, the speculative plays have been playing the IPOs. Pero if you notice, the numbers are quite talking about inflation talaga eh. Look at this one, no? Starbucks is hiking prices right now to offset inflation. And then they're lowering profit guidance. So actually, Starbucks could fall tonight to about 5 to 10% lower. Kahit 98 yan, nag-rebound yung market, but hindi supported by earnings yan. So pwede mag 90 or 85 yan. So yun, that would be just a quick call on Philippine markets. Let's take a look at any questions. C-REIT, Costco. Not aware too much what C-REIT is. Sorry, yeah. Let's take a look. C-REIT. Citicore REITs. Okay, so for superior operational, Citicore REITs cuts the IPO size to 6 billion. Shares are priced at 255 each. They will be the first energy-focused REIT. Let's read this, ha? Puro REITs yung patok sa Philippines, no? Okay. REIT size has gone down from 10 to 6. And then the IPO price was lowered 20% down to 255. This is gonna be centered on office and mixed-use spaces. Wait lang. Will be the first energy focused. So, renewable energy REIT siya. Okay, so what will they do with the money? Kung renewable energy, ano to? Like solar na naman ba to? Or wind? Teka. Meanwhile, C-REIT's IPO, let's see. It's attractive because implied 7% earnings. Demand should be okay given the yield. This is to acquire properties owned by Citicore Solar Bulacan, Philippine Solar Energy 1, and other properties by its sponsors. Following the planned acquisition, dividends would be huge. How do they give dividends as a renewable energy? Hindi pa naman sila nag-run ng solar plants, diba? I mean, just a normal question na. Kasi I know about the REIT in the US. It's yung naglaro ako ng REIT nun eh. First Solar. Was it First Solar? Hindi. SunPower. SunPower ba yun? Tandaan ko lang. There's this company na may REIT siya sa Japan. I think it was hindi siya First Solar. It was SunPower. Yeah, SunPower. SunPower had a REIT. Nagproproduce na kasi ng cash yun eh. So, kaya nila magawa ng REIT. Basahin ko lang They are investing in a crisis-proof industry, renewable energy.
Hello.
Yeah. Wait lang.
Lagarit ako.
Sorry.
Sakto lang ako kay Joe. Sakto lang ako kay Noye.
Wait lang.
Nakita ko nga. Nakatapos na lang ba?
Oo, sakto. Kakatapos lang.
Oops.
Nandito na si Janine, tapos si Nikki,
Wait lang,
Mark, si Alvin, yung groom natin.
Okay.
Si Jelvin nandito din.
Okay, guys.
Hello.
Sorry.
Hi, Jelvin.
Leave muna ako. Wait, I had to leave that. May meeting ako later. Pero just in case, for the C-REIT, 7% yield, I'm not quite sure. I know that the market in the Philippines is hungry for yield, but they're not asking how the company actually pays that 7% yield. Hindi ko pa alam kung how this company makes that 7% cash div, so I can't say something about it. I need to read about it, how they pay the divs. Kasi for the other companies, like the solar companies that I've seen abroad, like in Japan, they have a direct partnership. Basically, nakita ko sa mga renewable energy, the ones that did a REIT in Japan, you can check it out actually. SunPower REIT yun eh. SunPower REIT ba yun? Tama. Basta parang may partnership siya sa Japan. So parang may partnership ka with Meralco. So automatic yung lahat ng produce mo na energy, bayad na yun ni Meralco to provide electricity to the Japanese. Parang yung Meralco equivalent ng Japan. Yun yung gumawa nun. Then meron yun sa US, mga Next Era Energy, which is NEE. It's a utility, one of the largest utility companies in the US. Ganon, may mga REITs din yun. So anyway, aaralin ko kung ganon yung galaw nitong Citicore REIT. But if ganon, if the same, wala. Kasi nagkataon lang, mas familiar lang talaga ako sa mga REITs abroad. So I can't quite say kung kamusta yung tong. This is the first REIT nga, energy-focused REIT in the Philippines. So how could I have any comparison except the US? How would you include REITs for your dividend plays aside from DMC and Nicolasia? The thing about REITs kasi in the Philippines, halos lahat sila office space. So you have to be very bullish on those office REITs to be confident in your REIT position. So I think it's more of a property REIT play aside from the dividends. So again, if you're bullish on the office REITs, you can. Pero ako kasi hindi ako masyadong bullish talaga sa office REITs. Kaya hindi ako ganun ka, I bought it, I sold it. Hindi ako like buy and hold kind of play on the REITs. How about increasing palm oil prices? So the thing about yung mga inflation is really gonna affect, to be honest, is gonna affect restaurants and food manufacturers, including, yes, your question is right. Monde and URC could be affected because of rising commodity prices, even DNL, if you think about it. So the only thing that I think is, kung magkakaroon man ng difficulty in inflation, dapat recession-proof. It could have been one of the reasons why mahina rin yung galaw ng Monde URC nowadays. Baka some people, I'm not sure kung they're thinking about it, pero yes, it's at the back of my mind on how strong they could actually pass it on to their consumers if talagang naging wildfire yung inflation. Bear Brian's asking time to short oil na. I wouldn't. Very strong yung profits ng oil. Like last night, ExxonMobil, good numbers. I wouldn't short. Actually, more like, I would take profit on oil if you wish. ExxonMobil, if you have it, buy, sell, tapos. Any comments on BKR and Mark? I think like the Philippine market is not gonna be resilient dun sa lahat ng nickel plays unless they are consistent in dividends. I'm not quite sure. I think Mark gave dividends, Mark Ventures. So si Mark, tsaka sila FNI, yung mga ganun, I think they gave dividends naman. But you have to be very clear and consistent that they will give again this year. Kasi pag hindi consistent, babagsak yung mga prices. Check hybrid analytics dissection on CRIX prospectus. It wasn't tackled that their chairman is MY's chairman who has a lot of pending cases versus the government. So yun, di ko sure actually. siguro I'm more of the safe play muna. Kasi hindi ako masyado sigurado sa mga, to be honest, the Philippine market, medyo cash ako. So, you know naman my stance. I'm quite bearish. There's huge inflation. There's a potential recession or bear market in the US. The rallies in the US is relief rally in my view. So, I trade it. I'm a buy and trade. I'm a buy and sell. Hindi ako nagba-buy and hold. For now, I'm not confident to do buy and hold. So index 7.5, banks are rising. To me, that is an option for me to sell it. Syempre sa Philippines, wala namang short. And sa US, mabilis din ako. I shorted, I covered kagad kasi may relief rally. Maybe around March, we'll see how high this rally goes. Naka-trail stop din yung longs ko dyan. A quick move lang to the downside because of high interest rate hikes could actually lead to a potential sell-off. So I'm not saying na, magsisell off na bukas, but you have to be very clear. Ako naman kasi, if I'm in cash, I'm not making money, obviously. Pero di rin ako nalugi. So, yeah, in a way, parang safe play lang ako sa Philippines so far. Halos lahat ng cash ko, naka-cash lang. So, yun lang. Okay, hindi ako masyado nag-play talaga sa mga names ng halos wala akong speculative name in the Philippines. So I'm not speculating on any spin-offs or whatsoever. Yun lang. Okay, thank you guys. See you again tomorrow for the crypto updates and then on Friday for Global Market Friday class. Please follow Awesome10X on our so you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is @PhysisTrader. We've been sharing quite a huge rebound in the US, like 100% moves in a month, 150% moves in a month, 70% moves in a month. One of our members just did 500% up on his Google calls, which is very good execution, by the way, kasi Google earnings popped 10% up after hours. So lots of earnings events in the US. Philippines, I could say, ang ganda ng earnings ng banks, in fairness. That could have been the trigger, kaya malakas yung rally. I don't know how sustainable the bank earnings are though. So if you have banks and you're happy with it, good for you. Congrats and stay long. Pero trail stop. Like move your stops. Like let's say for BPI, I'd say pag nag-break 95, you should be out. For BDO, if it breaks 131 or 132, you should be out. Medyo tight stop siguro yan. 139 last price ng BDO. 100 yung last price ng BPI. Metrobank is trading at 59. I'll put a trail stop at about 57 or 56. And then see how high it goes. Baka mag-65 pa yan. Trail stop yan dapat sa mga Cebu Pacific. 47 ngayon, diba? Pwede siya mag-$50. That's a reopening move talaga. But I'd say that, lang naman you know that the support of Cebu was 40. Kaya muli tayo doon, 40, 38, 39. Actually, marami kasing nagba-buy low, sell high lang talaga sa mga Ceb. Feel ko kasi ganun lang talaga buy low, tapos sell high. That's how I'll play. Tapos kung na-sell mo na, di-cash ka na, okay na yon. You don't need to parang go shoot for 60 or 70. Kasi it's kind of hard to really assume na, it depends kasi sa tao Because for me, there will be travel, resumption. How long? Kung kaya ko na mag-gain ng 20%, let's say 40 to 50, 48, tapos ka na, okay na yon. Tapos park and cash. Then, wait again for whatever happens. Diba? So, one of the reasons and catalyst then for Monday, I think, is the rebalancing. So, yes, there's an inflationary problem, but it's possible na ma-offset yan either by pass-through costs. Possible na naka-hedge siya via higher commodity prices because URC is a commodity producer as well. For people who don't know, URC is a very, very efficient food manufacturer. Paano ba naman? You're doing all diba? Jack and Jill chips, tapos meron siyang mga bioethanol plants. Sa dami ng business ni URC, proven over time na yan. For the last about 15 years, magaling na siya sa handling of commodities. So medyo hindi ako ganun ka-scared na baka URC tamaan yung margins in case mag-commodity spike. Hindi, proven siya hindi siya ganun ka-tipaklong when it comes to inflationary problems. So I'm kind of confident na kaya ni URC and Monde yan pag nagkaroon man ng inflationary spike. So actually, consumer staple picks ko sila. Sige.